Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? You know, the Saints get the win, and Dalton played very well. I mean, he was efficient. There's no denying that. My contention is and will be that that's a glimmer, not a glow. That's a glimmer of a moment instead of like the steady glow of consistency, which Andy Dalton isn't going to be anymore in his career. He's a guy that on a given Sunday can play well in a certain matchup like he did against the Rams. He was 21 of 25 for 260 and 3 touchdowns. For me, the more encouraging thing from the game was the fact that they got Taysom Hill more involved. Taysom Hill led your team in rushing. He had 9 carries for 52 yards. He led your team in rushing. They were much more intentional about getting Taysom Hill involved. Look, Dennis Allen, after the game, talked about the two of them rotating in the game on Sunday.
Each week, we go in and try to figure out what's the best way that we can move the ball and be effective and score points. And, I felt like we had a good plan for both Andy and Taysom at the quarterback position. And I thought Pete called a good game. I thought those guys went out there and executed the plan. So it's always good when it works, right? I mean, everybody, but I thought the offense did a really good job.
I completely understand what Dennis Allen's saying, and I think he is being truthful. You go into a given week looking at the matchup and saying, okay, what do we have that we feel like our pieces can do well against them? But sometimes it doesn't matter what they do. You should dictate terms. That's true in any sport. But in particular football, when you're just one game a week and you're trying to determine a game plan, unless if you are physically inferior and have to, like, you see that like at the major college level, for example, LSU against UAB. UAB is physically inferior. They were going to have to scheme something dramatically to give themselves an advantage. In the NFL, like, if you have a player who is going to win, who is just better than the other team, like, you've got to use him. So I can't fathom when you have Taysom Hill, who's so dynamic, who presents such a different challenge for defenses, having to respect the fact that he can take a snap out of the single wing and run it, or run an option, or throw it, and there's all these things you have to defend that he can do exceptionally well. So it's not like with Deebo Samuel. If you want to put Deebo Samuel in the single wing, he's running the ball. Like, he's not going to set back and throw it 10 times in the game. The Saints could throw it 10 times a game with Taysom Hill. And it's not a gadget play. It's part of the offense with that guy. So the fact that you would ever get into a game week and not use Taysom Hill is the perplexing thing for me. And that's what Dennis Allen was asked. Like, is this the recipe for consistent offensive successes? More Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I think we got to look at that on a week-by-week basis. I'm not ready to sit here and say that we're going to just carbon copy the game plan for next week. Next week we got a different opponent. It'll be challenging. So, but yeah, I thought it was a good plan, and I thought our guys executed it.
You don't have to carbon copy the game plan, but can I point something out to you real quick? If you look at Taysom Hill's game logs this year, okay. Against Atlanta, by the way, the game the Saints won. 4 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. Remember the Saints' first touchdown drive? They blew the game open when Taysom got going and basically took over that drive. He was also 1 of 1 catching. Against the Seahawks, 9 rushes, 112 yards, 3 touchdowns. Against the Raiders, 10 carries, 61 yards, averaged 6.1 yards a carry. Also caught a pass for 11 yards. And then the Rams, 9 carries for 52 yards. I mean, look at his game log. Like, it is so abundantly clear. When Taysom Hill runs the ball and plays well, the Saints win. The Falcons, the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Rams. Taysom Hill's 4 best games where they used him the most. Taysom Hill's 4 best games where they used him the most. The Falcons, the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Rams. The Saints, those are the 4 games the Saints have won this year. Look at when they've looked their worst. 10 points against Pittsburgh. 3 carries, 1 yard, didn't throw him a pass. Look at the game against Baltimore. You were atrocious. He ran the ball one time for 6 yards. Like, this ain't hard to figure out. I got an 11-game sample. You've won 4 times. The 4 times you won, he was heavily involved. The rest of the times when your offense looks awful, he don't do nothing. Get the dude involved. Like, that's binary. That's, as Terrio would say, that's digital. Get the dude involved. You're better when he's involved. Why do I see this and the head coach of the Saints doesn't see this? Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.